everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Natita SewNaturalDane. I thank you for tuning in today. I want to welcome those who are new to the channel. If this is your first video that you're seeing of mine, consider subscribing and don't forget to thumbs up this video, but check out other videos to see if this is a channel you would like to subscribe to, as well as don't forget to hit those notifications just in case you are going to subscribe. So, all right. This is, I saw this question pop up a couple different times, but again, on a recent video I did, I think it was a week from the previous Sunday video that I uploaded about PDF patterns. And so, because I did a quick research on plus size PDF patterns that are available on Etsy. So if that is something that you're curious about or interested in, and these are new indie patterns that I was just looking for and seeing what else is out there in the market. And so I went ahead and went through that. There'll be a follow-up video with that maybe in a few months. I want to just do a little bit more deep diving there so I have even more to share. But anyway, today's video is all about purchasing PDF patterns, printing your PDF patterns, as well as storing your PDF patterns. So first, let me start out. I have my notes here because I did not want to miss anything. First of all, for those who might be new to PDF patterns, I know with all the recent changes in the Big Four and people, everybody has a video on this talking about this whole, the Big Four and it being liquidated and all of that. So I'm not going to talk about that. There's plenty of people talking about it. But for those who are interested in PDF patterns, like I said, I had the question last week and I've had the question before. PDF patterns you can get at this rate pretty much from any pattern company, be it indie or commercial. Now the caveat is you can get the PDF pattern. Some indie is good for this, so I'm pretty much excluding indie patterns when I say this portion. Not all commercial patterns are available for PDF printing. For those that are, they may only be available for you to print on your home computer and for you to tape together. That is not what I'm talking about today, because your girl over here do not tape together PDF patterns. And I have a ton. For anybody who has been along on my journey, I have a ton of PDF patterns, right? And I do not tape them together. Now, caveat there is, if I am doing a pattern test where there is not enough time for me to send it to print and get it and, you know, do the testing and all of that different stuff in the time frame that is dictated by the testing deadline, then yes, I will tape that together, but that's not frequent. So that is pretty much the only time. Outside of that, I send all of my patterns to print copy shop. And so what I am recommending to you today is what I do, is what I recommend. You do not have to use these companies. This is not a sponsorship or anything of the sort. I'm just sharing with you what I do. You may have other options. I highly suggest if you do, use them. But if you were just looking for what I do and my thoughts, that is what you are going to get today. Now, the caveat for me, one of the things that I love when pattern companies, and again, this is the indie pattern companies, I have not seen, I've only downloaded one commercial pattern, and it was a McCall's pattern that I received for free through Minerva, and it was one that I would have had to print and tape together. I never did that. Never did it. And so but I like when pattern companies offer with their file that it's in color. I am completely spoiled. Love Notions, Itch to Stitch, Style Arc. I can go on and on. Different indie pattern companies, a lot of them, and I hope more do it, but put their size lines in different colors, which is absolutely I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you are somebody who trace patterns, and a couple reasons for that. If you trace patterns, it's easier to make sure that you stay on the right color line as opposed to what I used to do. I have a video that show if the pattern wasn't in color, I would use a highlighter in a different color and just highlight the whole, all of the line that I needed, the size lines. If I was grading between sizes, I would just highlight everything that I needed to cut out, and then I would cut. But at least with patterns that already come with the size lines in different colors, I don't have to do that. That saves some time. But anyway, needless to say, so that's where we starting out first. And where I wanted to start out, for example, if you have not seen this before, Love Notions, and what I will do is pop up video, pictures, clips. So make sure that you, if you are watching this, that you make sure you pay attention to the screen. Love Notions, for example, as you can tell in this, what I'm showing on the screen, they have all of their sizes on one print, right? So all the sizes for this particular pattern is on one print. However, even though they have that, and you can see it's in different colors, you do have the option in Adobe, and Adobe is free. It's free to use to do this. This is not a paid Adobe version. I'll show you here on the screen where the sizing is tiled. And so when you click on that tile feature, you'll see it here on the screen. I kind of have it hovering, the marker hovering over it. You can then select the actual sizes you need. And as you can tell, as I'm clicking on these sizes, you can see on the actual pattern how all of the other sizes that were on there disappear. And you only see the actual sizes that you need. So for those, that is key for those who don't mind printing at home and, you know, whatever, and taking your pattern together. Maybe it's therapeutic for you. Hats off to you. But maybe it's therapeutic for you. That's all you have to do, is just make sure that after you've taken your measurements and you know what size you need to cut, then go ahead and use that feature to just get rid of all of the other sizes you don't need, so you're not printing in excess, wasting paper and all of this type of thing. But that comes in handy later on, and I'll tell you about that, so stay tuned. Then Love Notion, so far as the naming convention of PDF files that you want to send to print. So there are different naming conventions that pattern companies may use. They're usually one of three. Typically one of three. For example, Love Notions, they name their copy shop print. So this means this file is for copy shop printing. They name theirs large format file. Large format file. And that lets you know, you get the print at home version and all of that. But if you wanted to print it, and Love Notions, just for anybody who's interested, also do projector. For those who are into projector patterns and stuff, Love Notions, their patterns come in projector as well. But we're just focusing on printing, sending your file to a copy shop to print. They have, theirs is labeled large format file. On the other hand, Friday Pattern Company, they name their file A0, or you might see in some A0 copy shop. It might have the whole name, A0 copy shop or A0. Either one means that file that you receive when you purchase your PDF pattern is available. That's the file you use to send to your copy shop or upload. We'll get there. Style Art, theirs is named just a little bit different. Their first option is, theirs is called single sheet. And what does that mean? I'll pop it up here on the screen. You will see, if you open up the single sheet file, you will see everything on one sheet. All the pattern pieces are on one sheet of paper. You will only print this one sheet, and you will notice at the bottom, I'm hovering, it will show you the dimensions or the size of that file. because that is what you will need to know when you go out to the copy shops to have them printed. You will need to know the file size. So if you wanted to do the single sheet here where everything is just on one sheet, and I've done that in the past, and it is a huge sheet and you're just cutting everything off of the one sheet of paper. Style Art also has what they call multi-size A0, which is what we talked about before. A0 means this is for copy shop, but it says multi-size. They also have that same tiling option I showed you earlier on the side for Love Notions. Style Art also has this option, but the difference here is this is multiple pages, multiple copy shop pages, as opposed to one full page. So again, you will have to determine what is more economical, or what do you want to pay for. Do you want to pay for the full sheet, or do you want to pay for multiple sheets? I have found, I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been a couple years, which was more cost effective to get the full sheet or multiple sheets. Now, the thing to keep in mind for multiple sheets, you can look at the file. Obviously, when you open the file, you can look at it. If you find that whatever pattern that you receive from, say, Style Art, that you do print copy shop multiple pages, you check to see if you have to tape pattern pieces together to create the full pattern. I had to do that for the Tony dress, and because I didn't choose to have the one sheet. I don't know why. Whatever, I just didn't. But had I thought about it, I probably would have done the one sheet so I didn't have to worry about taping the pieces together. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So keep that in mind when you are downloading your PDFs. The file name, the naming convention, so you know which file it is that you are using to send to PDF to your printer. Now, the thing is, also keep in mind, because most of the time when you are uploading your files, actually all of them, and I'll show you, when you're uploading your files to print to the copy shop, they want to know how many pages that pattern is that you're having to print. So Love Notions, Style Art, I'm sorry, Love Notions, Friday Pattern Company, there's our multiple pages. So you'll see how many pages it is. Style Art, that's the one where you'll have to consider if you're going to do a single sheet, you're going to need that size of that single sheet, or the multiple pages, and see how many pages it is in the multi pages. So, got it? Those are just a few examples of the file name, the naming convention. It can vary from pattern company to pattern company. I've seen for US based, they also use the A0 naming convention. I've also seen US based copy shop version. I've seen that as a title as well. So either way, you'll know from those naming conventions, this is the file that you send to your, for print. You cannot just send the regular print at home to print unless you just want to and have them, you know, send you the pages printed because maybe you don't have a home printer. But in that case, I would just say go to your local maybe UPS store, Staples, you know, that type of store, copy print store, and just print it there. I probably wouldn't send it to print because it's inexpensive. Just go there. If you don't have a printer and you don't mind taping it together, you can do that as an option. So let's get into the copy shops. All right, now that you have purchased, now that you have downloaded, and you know the file extension, the file name, it's time to upload to the different copy shops. So I'm going to focus on two. I have already done a full video on PDF plotting and how to upload and all of that. I'm not going to show that today. I will link that video down in the description box as well as in the iCard in the event you want to see that video. Today I am focusing on two copy shops that I currently use most frequently. The first one I will talk about is Blue Cup Shop. Blue Cup Shop is owned by Laquana, for those who follow her over on Instagram. And for many of you know that this is a Black owned print shop company, and so and she's listed on the BHM Pattern Designer, so many of you may already be familiar. But one of the things that I love about Blue Cup Shop is that, and also the other shop I'll be telling you as well, the patterns come, once they're shipped, they come folded already. But before you get there, you're like, okay, but how do you work it? How do you upload? Let's go. On Etsy, as you can tell, at the time I'm recording this, caveat, I am recording this in June 2025. These companies, you know, if you see this a year or two from now or months from now, they could have changed their process, or something could have changed or something like that, but just check for any updates on the website. But as of now, this is the process. So as you can tell, for Blue Cup Shop on Etsy, 5 stars. She is 5-star, great customer service, and she has fulfilled well over 2,000 orders. So you will see here that you do have the option for printing, having your pattern instructions printed as well. So say you if you don't want to print anything at home, you have a home printer, but you're like, you don't want to print your own pattern instructions. When you submit your file for printing your pattern, she can print the instructions as well. That is a listing offering. A0 patterns we just talked about, or large format, and you note the dimensions, and then there's custom listing. And so all of those options are available. I typically only do the A0 pattern printing, and so when I use that, so when I click on that listing, you will see that what you're doing here is you add the name of the pattern and the quantity. Now, quantity means how many pages, not how many patterns, how many pages. So for a particular pattern, it could be 3-4 pages. That's where you would put in quantity, right? And then and you'll know the quantity of pages again from the download that you receive. As you scroll down, you will be able to tell everything you need to know. Her full instructions, even if you would like to purchase extra sleeves for patterns, she offers that set as a separate listing as well. And then she shows you on Etsy where to send your files. So in Etsy, what you're doing is putting the pattern name, which in any special instructions. So you can add in the instructions through Etsy for Blue Cup Shop. Again, remember back where I showed you where you can click on the tile and only print certain sizes. This is where you can add that information in the comments, in the email. So because you do have to send the file you have to email her, and she has it on her Etsy where you email her the file, but you can also put in there as well, print only sizes 18 to 20. You know, whatever the size is, and then that way she knows which sizes to have print. Really, really easy, super duper easy. Blue Cup Shop, again, highly recommend. I do use Blue Cup Shop quite frequently. And also the next pattern shop I will share with you as well. Okay, the next pattern company that I use is copy shop, I should say, is Tape Free Patterns. So I come to know about this particular pattern company through Love Notions. For those who don't know, I am a Love Notions brand ambassador, and so it was maybe a year and a half ago, probably 2 years ago, that Tape Free Patterns, I feel like maybe this is, I don't know how long they've been around. Maybe it's been a little longer than a couple years, but I think early on they had sent Love Notions an offering for their pattern testers and brand ambassadors and everything for a discount code to send their patterns to print there. So of course I took advantage of that offering, and I had realized that they are actually based here in Texas. Tape Free Patterns is here in Texas, and so I went ahead, I remember purchasing, and I have since purchased several times from them. And that is one of, let me pause here. That is one of the benefits for me from ordering from Tape Free Patterns. In the event I am testing a pattern and the deadline, you know, the window for testing is, you know, a good amount of time, and I have time to send the pattern to print as opposed to me printing and taping it together for testing, I will send it to Tape Free Patterns because they are here in Texas and I get that pattern within a couple days. It doesn't take long at all to get the pattern. So as you see here, you land on Tape Free Patterns. You see their landing page here, the different things that they offer. One of the things that they offer for you aspiring pattern designers, they do offer some printing for pattern designers. So if you are an aspiring pattern designer, you need patterns and stuff printed, maybe some test stuff printed, maybe I didn't look into this, that's not my lane, but for those who are interested, there you go. They also offer instruction booklet, bound booklets. They offer a 5-pack of their envelopes, A0 printing, and by the foot. I don't know what the by the foot is. I've never clicked on it or know what that is. So we're going to focus on what I do use, and that is the A0 printing. So when you click on the A0 printing, you will see the page that walks you through what's included in the print and the pricing, and again, you will see they have by the page. It's not by the number of patterns you've uploaded. You could upload 5 different patterns. They need to know per how many pages is this pattern, and you will get, let me pause here, you will get from either one of these companies. I've gotten it from PDF, I've gotten it from Blue Cup Shop, I've gotten it from Tape Free Patterns. If I wasn't paying attention when I uploaded a pattern and I forgot, this happened to me when I happened to upload multiple patterns and forgot for one of the patterns to add how many pages it was, and because it, you know, defaults to 1 or something like that. Then I upload and send the file in. I've had all these shops reach out to me and say, hey, for this pattern, it's actually 4 pages. And so they probably had to charge me or have me pay for the additional pages. And I've done that. I'm guilty at not paying attention. Again, that usually happens to me if I have multiple patterns I've uploaded and wasn't paying attention, that I didn't remember to change the quantity. So again, always pay attention to the quantity of pages that the pattern is that you're uploading. So here is something that is unique about Tape Free Patterns, and that is you do have a variety of materials to have your pattern printed on. So they offer the non-fusible, non-woven fabric, which is more expensive. So this is the most expensive to the least expensive option here. Then you have the 18-pound translucent paper, which actually I don't have, because I remember from my first order, and I'm sure they have some kind of tracking mechanism in their okay, apologies, the camera cut off, but they have sent in the past other samples of the different materials. And so the translucent, obviously I always purchase the 20-pound paper, and so that's the one I always order. But for those who are looking for different type of materials to have your pattern printed on, you have other options with Tape Free Pattern. And again, now filling in everything, as you can tell, is very easy. You put the name of the pattern. Again, remember you have to put the number of pages. You could also have the note section where you can say, hey, print only size X, you know, this 18 through 20, or, you know, whatever the size that you need to have printed. So pretty easy breezy. Add to cart. You pay, check out all the good things, and you're good to go. Now, moving on to how do these patterns come once you receive them. So for Tape Free Pattern, I'll start there first because it's sitting right here. They come in the envelopes that they offer for print. So they come like this. They come folded. They come with this note on the front that tells you what you had printed and the sizing that you asked for. They would have it adhered to this envelope, all folded up, ready to go. So for me, I leave it in here. I leave it in here. When I use the pattern, I will put the unused pieces back in here, but typically for me, if I'm grading between sizes, manipulating the pattern, stuff like that, I wouldn't put it back in here. What I use is this. This is the second option for storage. So this is kind of your built-in storage system from Take Free Patterns, right? If you, when you get it from Blue Cup Shop, everything comes folded. So everything will just come folded. And she usually has them, in cardboard. It's like these cardboard pieces that has the pattern just to keep it flat so it's not bending or anything in transit. But hers come like that. Blue Cup Shop. Take Free comes in these envelopes. So this is a built-in storage system, right? If you decide, oh, I'll just fold everything back up and put it in here and store it however you store it. The other storage option is I share all the time are these, and I will link to these in my description box through Amazon. It's in my Amazon store. Yes, that is an affiliate link. You don't have to use it, but for ease, I will put it down there. So what I would do is, say I've had to manipulate this, make changes and all that, and I don't want to really put it back in here. My unused pieces are in here, but I will put everything in a clear envelope, because what I tend to like to do is stuff like this, what you see here. I print off my instructions and I put that in the front, and then all my pattern pieces are in the back. So when I pull this out, I can see what this is right away. On here is just the name. You can optionally print off the front cover and tape it here, so you see it here as an option for storage. You decide what's best for you based on your storage situation and what's available for you. But I store all of my PDF patterns in here. I like it. Some come with, I've gotten some from the Dollar Tree. I have not seen them since, you guys. I don't know if they just stopped doing it, so I get them off Amazon now. But the Dollar Tree ones, the Dollar Tree, and there was a place here called Epic Dollar that they had like a 3-pack for like $2. I thought that was reasonable. It's still reasonable. It comes out to 90-something cents, I feel like, or it might be a little bit, it might be like $1 now, but it's, you could get them by, I think it's a 15-pack or 20-pack, something like this. It'll be linked in the description box from Amazon, and you can just have a bunch of these at the ready. So when you are having things printed or you need to store them, then you can just put them in here, and it has the little drawstring. Some come with snaps. I can't remember if these were Dollar Tree. I feel like these came from the Epic Dollar with the string. But then the ones from Amazon have the snap. Either way, they both work just as good. And so you can put all your pattern pieces in there, and there you go. So that is pretty much the wrap up. I know it's a little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to kind of chop it up so you know what I do. Again, if you have other options and other places you send your patterns to print, great. You can leave that down in the comment section. Maybe people want other options or more options. That's perfectly fine. But this is what I do. This is, you know, how I send my stuff to print, and it works for me, and this is how I store them. And so, and you've seen my sewing space. If you have not, I will leave a link to my playlist that has my sewing space down below, and you can check it out if you so choose. But yeah, I have my storage spaces, and I just store everything in those respective spots. So I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments if this was useful for you. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. But yeah, the key thing is your PDF pattern that you get does have, it has the option to send to copy shop. That's what you want. If you're not interested in taping your patterns together, you want to get a pattern and make sure that it has a copy shop print file instead of you printing at home, unless that's your jam. If that's your jam, go for it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. You all have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye. Thank you.